in another universe, perhaps the playing careers of Andrew Luck and Robert Griffin III are still ongoing. Maybe they even have a Super Bowl or two to their name. They went 1-2 at the 2012 NFL Draft, and after early indications that a bright career was ahead, neither are in the league today after injuries and disappointments. Their careers will forever be linked, with the hope they represented never fully fulfilled, leaving us forever wondering, what if? Rivals ranked Luck as the fourth best pro-style quarterback in the 2008 recruiting class. Luck threw for more than 7,100 yards and 53 touchdowns, with more than 2,000 more yards on the ground in Houston's top high school division before playing at Stanford. Now, more than being an excellent school, Stanford head coach Jim Harbaugh played for 14 years in the NFL, and he could help Luck reach that next level. Luck redshirted in 2008, but won the starting job in 2009. As a freshman, he set a school record by throwing for more than 2,500 yards. Meanwhile, the offense set a school record by scoring 434 points, and the Cardinal finished the year 8-5. As a sophomore in 2010, Luck in the offense took off, making all sorts of history. Stanford set a new program record for points in a season. Its 12 wins were also a school record, finishing the season 4th in the AP poll after winning the Orange Bowl. Luck threw for 32 touchdowns, breaking John Elway's school record, and was second in the 2010 Heisman Trophy race behind Auburn's Cam Newton. After his sophomore season, Luck made the seismic decision to return to Stanford for his third season as the starter, rather than declaring for the NFL Draft. 2011 was more of the same for Luck, another school record for points in a season, another touchdown record, another conference Offensive Player of the Year award, and another second place finish in the Heisman Trophy voting. This time, the winner was Baylor's Robert Griffin III, a quarterback whose football career would forever be linked with Luck. RG3 was ranked the fourth best dual threat quarterback in the same class as Luck. After starring for 2 years at Copperas Cove High School in Central Texas, RG3 originally committed to Houston, coached by Art Briles. When Briles took the head coach job at Baylor, RG3 came with him. In Waco, RG3 started 11 games as a true freshman, throwing for more than 2,000 yards, with more than 800 on the ground and 28 touchdowns. In his second start, Griffin rushed for a school record 217 yards in a win over Washington State. Now, while Baylor went just 4-8, RG3 was voted the Big 12 Offensive Freshman of the Year. As a sophomore, RG3 played in just 3 games before tearing his right ACL in the first half of Week 3 against Northwestern State. As a redshirt sophomore in 2010, RG3 started all 13 games for Baylor. He set school records with 30 touchdowns and more than 4,100 yards from scrimmage. RG3 was the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year and Comeback Player of the Year, but Baylor went just 7-6. Then came his historic 2011 season. RG3 broke the same program records he set in 2010. On the biggest stage of his college career, Griffin made more history, throwing for 479 yards, including a 34-yard game winner in a win over number 5 Oklahoma, Baylor's first ever win over the Sooners. With both Luck and Griffin entering the 2012 draft as the top 2 Heisman finalists, they were projected as the top 2 picks in the draft. The Colts had the top pick after going 2-14 in 2011, with Peyton Manning missing the entire season following neck surgery. Fans of the Colts and other losing NFL teams came up with the very popular slogan, "Suck for Luck," hoping that he would be their savior. Then there were the sweepstakes for the rights to the number 2 pick. The St. Louis Rams were in that spot originally, but they liked Sam Bradford as their quarterback, so they took Washington up on its trade package. With eyes on RG3 as the potential future of the franchise, Washington swung one of the biggest trades in NFL history, sending 3 first-round picks and a 2012 second-rounder to the Rams for the number 2 pick. After the dust settled, Andrew Luck was a Colt, and RG3 landed in Washington. After 1 year, it looked like a win-win for both teams. After winning just 2 games in 2011, the Colts made the playoffs as a wild card in 2012. Luck set a rookie record with 4,300 passing yards. In Washington, RG3 threw for over 3,200 yards and 815 yards on the ground and led his team to an NFC East title for the first time since 1999. Washington finished the regular season on a 7-game winning streak, which included a big 38-31 win at Dallas on Thanksgiving. Washington fans, including myself, were dreaming very big, but those dreams were shattered in the playoffs. A right LCL sprain in Week 14 kept RG3 short of 100% for the rest of the season and forced him to wear a brace. Disaster struck late in the fourth quarter against Seattle, with Griffin trying to lead a comeback. He reached to try and grab a bad snap, but his knee just gave out. RG3 had torn his right ACL, LCL, and meniscus, and ultimately would never be the same. After winning 9 games as a rookie, Griffin won just 5 games the rest of his time in Washington and had 1 each in Cleveland and Baltimore. An ankle injury sidelined RG3 in 2014. After his time in Washington, shoulder and thumb injuries and concussions kept him from ever really settling into any kind of established role. Instead, it was Kirk Cousins, who Washington drafted in the 4th round in 2012, who had sustained a career in Washington and later in Minnesota. RG3 once represented hope at QB for Washington, but more than a decade after his electric rookie season, that void is still there. Then there is the career of Andrew Luck, who reached greater heights, but had an even more shocking ending. Luck started all 16 games and went 11-5 in each of his first 3 NFL seasons. In 2012, the Colts lost at Baltimore in the wild card round. The next season, the Colts won the AFC South, and in the 2013 wild card came the most iconic game of Luck's career, when he led the Colts back from a 38-10 deficit to beat the Chiefs 45-44. In 2014, the Colts made the AFC Championship. They faced the Patriots, who knocked them out of the playoffs in the divisional round the year before, and they got killed. The Colts lost 45-7 in what was the very popular Deflategate game. Over his first 3 seasons, Luck threw for nearly 13,000 yards and 86 touchdowns. In 2014, he broke Manning's single-season franchise passing record with 4,761 yards. 2015 was a rough season for Luck and the Colts. Indy started 1-2 before Luck missed weeks 4 and 5 with a shoulder injury, and then at the bye with the Colts at 4 and 5, it was announced that Luck would miss 2 to 6 weeks with a lacerated kidney and partially torn abdomen. He missed the rest of the season, and the Colts missed the playoffs. In 2016, Luck started 15 games, missing a game with a concussion. The Colts went 8-8 and missed the playoffs for the 2nd straight year. In the offseason, Luck had surgery on his shoulder, which had bothered him since 2015 and would, continue to bother him as well. Still, he threw for 4,200 yards and 31 touchdowns. In 2017, Luck's shoulder problems lingered into camp, and the Colts announced that he would miss the start of the regular season. Now, week 4, Luck was going to start practicing, but he didn't really have a firm timetable to actually return to games. Then the unthinkable was announced in early November. Luck would miss the rest of the season due to shoulder issues. Luck had taken 174 sacks from 2012 to 2016, and those hits had finally caught up to him. Luck came back in 2018 at full strength, and he had a new offensive mind, Frank Reich, in charge. Luck looked like his normal self again. He finished the year passing for nearly 4,600 yards and 39 touchdowns as the Colts went 10-6 and reached the divisional round. Then came one of the most shocking decisions in NFL history, one that still ripples into today. On Saturday, August 24th, 2019, Andrew Luck announced his retirement from the NFL. The nagging injuries and constant rehab just became too much, and he was booed off the field in his own stadium as fans saw the news on Twitter before Luck actually made the announcement himself. Between Andrew Luck and Robert Griffin III, the two have a Heisman Trophy, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Comeback Player of the Year award. They both brought their struggling franchises to the playoffs as rookies, and they both delivered on the hope they represented as franchise quarterbacks, at least for a time, but that was all short-lived. Washington and the Colts are still looking for their next star quarterbacks more than a decade after the 2012 draft. Looking back, Russell Wilson and when Nick Foles won Super Bowls after being drafted in the 3rd round in 2012. Kirk Cousins was more of a long-term answer at QB for Washington after being taken the 4th round. And even undrafted Case Keenum eventually led the Vikings to an NFC championship. It was a cruel twist of fate for the Colts in Washington, because even though Luck and RG3 delivered big time in their rookie year, we can only imagine what could have been.